If you're the type of player that can't seem to stay on target when you're in a gunfight, and every single time you are trying to shoot at someone it feels like you're fighting against your joystick, you've come to the right video, because today guys, I'm going to be showing you a bunch of tips in order to play better at this game, and a bunch of settings that will give you the stickiest aim possible. If you guys want to win every single gunfight, you've come to the right one. If you guys could drop a like on this, I would truly appreciate that. It helps get those videos out, and let's get straight into it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about when you get into a gunfight in Black Ops 6, a lot of people just stand still, a lot of people don't do anything, and they use their right joystick for every single gunfight. But that's something that you don't want to do alone. You don't want to just use the right joystick. What you want to do instead is use that right joystick to make sure you're staying on target, but you want to strafe left and right as well at the same time. You could drop shot, you could jump shot, do whatever you do, and this is going to kick in your aim assist. It's going to make it really strong. It's going to make it stick onto the enemy a lot easier, and it's actually called rotational aim assist, and that's when you use your left stick to aim rather than your right stick. And it's really simple. All you got to do is move left and right, and the aim assist is going to be way stronger than if you were to just use that right stick alone. Now, that's not the only thing you want to do. You also want to make sure that you give yourself an advantage in every single gunfight. You don't want to just be running around the map like a headless chicken trying to find people. Let them come to you, and when you let enemies come to you, you have an advantage point. They're going to be rushing out, they're going to be sprinting, they're going to be doing whatever they got to do. You're going to be aiming exactly where you think they're going to be coming from. You're going to have height advantage. You could have a head glitch, which is when you stand behind an object, making yourself really hard to see, really hard to shoot, and all that kind of stuff. Or you could be behind a window, and it's just going to make it a lot easier for you in the end run. So make sure that you guys go ahead and do all those kind of things in a gunfight, and you will see that it's just going to be easier and easier and easier. Now, there's a few other things as well that we could talk about, but I want to go into some settings first, because some of these settings are going to help you guys out tremendously. Now, the main setting that I want to talk about is all in the controller settings, and let's get straight into that. So over here in the settings, we're actually going to get into some really important ones that are going to help you guys be a lot stickier and have way better accuracy in this game. But before we do, if you guys could check out that link down in the description below to No Lag VPN. If you guys want easier lobbies, if you guys want to get nukes, if you guys want to just practice against easier enemies, make sure to go ahead and use it, abuse it, and do what you got to do with it. The link right there is going to save you guys a lot as well, so make sure you guys go and check it out. But like I said, let's go into the controller settings. This is the first one that I want to talk about, and there's a few things in here that are pretty important, and there's a few that I'm going to talk about that aren't really going to help too much, but it's just going to make the game a lot easier, and you'll see what I mean when we get into those. So first thing I want to say is go to the movement tab. I know movement doesn't really have much to do with aiming, but go here. Trust me guys, this is if you're playing without back paddles. If you're playing with back paddles, go ahead and skip the next 30 seconds to a minute of the video, but if you're not, follow this right here. All right, put on tactical sprint assist. This means that every time you start moving that left stick, you don't have to tap it, you don't have to press it, nothing like that. You're going to automatically tack sprint, which is really nice. And then after that, you're going to go into button layout and put your jump stand mantle to R3 and your change stance slide and dive to L3, so that this way you could jump shot by pressing R3. You don't ever have to take your thumb off that part of the controller, and you could change stance, slide, and dive with L3, so you could drop shot and all that kind of stuff, again, without needing to remove your thumb from the controller. So this is really nice right here. This is just going to help you guys be a lot quicker, drop shot, be a harder target to hit, which is something you always want to strive for when getting into gunfights. All right, and I also use R1 and L1 to shoot and to aim down sights and stuff, but I mean, that's just a preference. I just like it better. I feel like it's a lot quicker. Even though it's only milliseconds, it does seem like it helps out a lot. Now let's get into some things that are going to help you guys out a lot more. Now, horizontal stick sensitivity and vertical stick sensitivity, for some reason, a lot of videos I watch, people tell you what the best one is. No, that's wrong. All right, the best one is the one that you're most comfortable with. This has nothing to do with aiming. I mean, besides actually aiming your crosshairs at the enemies, this has nothing to do with it. So if you like fast, go ahead and use fast. If you like slow, go ahead and use slow. Or if you're modest like me, put it to like a 1.60, 1.65, and that's pretty solid right there. Now, I'm going to say turn off controller vibration. You do not need this. You never need this. And it's actually working against you. And I want you guys to just think of this. When your controller vibrates, your thumb is vibrating as well. It's only millimeters, it's not much, but your thumb is vibrating as well. So if you're in a gunfight and the enemy is moving left on your screen and you have to move left to follow him for your aim assist to be as strong as possible, but your controller's vibrating and now your thumb is slightly moving to the right, you're fighting against the aim assist, and the aim assist is going to feel a lot weaker, which is why some gunfights you get into, you feel like you're not actually winning those. You feel like your aim assist is off and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys have this off right there. And then the best one right here is the dead zone inputs. Now I'm gonna say left stick minimum, put it to 0. If you could put this to 0 and then you start moving that left stick in a gunfight, your rotational aim assist is gonna be really quick. Why do I play on 6? I got stick drift. All right, my left stick is a little broken. If I put it down to 0, I automatically move, and because I have tac sprint on, it's just really annoying. All right, so I got to put mine to 6. That's a good number for me. And then the left stick max 35 is solid. All right, if you're working on movement, if you want to be fast, if you want all that kind of stuff, anywhere between 35 and 70 is solid. I like going as low as 35. For me, it's just really nice, but set it to whatever you like right there. I like 35. Right stick minimum and max, I'm gonna say copy exactly what I have. All right, this is going to make your aim, this and a few other settings we're going to get into, is going to make your aim assist very, very sticky. And I want you to put it on, and I want you to try it yourself, and you'll see that you're going to be beating ARs with an SMG at long range. All right, trust me on this right here. All right, right stick minimum 6. The lowest you want to go is 5. You do not want to go higher than 15, and the lowest you want to go is 5. All right, I'm playing on 6. I like it right there. Why do you want this? Because if you're in a gunfight and you have it set to 0, and then somebody starts, I don't know, just shooting back at you and all that kind of stuff, and you're trying to stay on them, your aim assist now, even if you're moving millimeters, even if you're moving just so slightly, ever so slightly, you're going to fight against aim assist. So make sure you do not have this on, all right? Or set to 0, I should say. Put this up to like a 5 or a 6, so that this way, even if your finger jerks, even if it moves, even if you have a spasm or whatever, it's not going to matter whatsoever, because it's not going to activate. It's going to need to move more than 6 degrees or whatever it is on that right stick in order to actually activate. So do that right there and set the right stick max to 100. And if you have your left trigger and right trigger set to default, which is 13, take it off right now. Do not play on 13. It's just awful. Now we're going to go into aiming, but there's another page, another tab that's out of controller settings that people just don't think of, that is going to help you guys out as well. And that's what I was talking about earlier in the video, but we'll get into that when we get into that. I want to go into the aiming advanced settings here, and I'm going to say set it to gradual. This is something that, like, if you're not a pro player, instant is just not going to be nice for you, right? This is what slows down it. So your actual aiming sensitivity and your sensitivity, so like my sensitivity is a 1.60, but my ADS sensitivity is a 0.85. If I put it to instant, the second I start pressing that L1 to ADS, it's going to slow down to a 0.85. So if you're trying to drag onto an enemy, it's going to be very slow. If you put it to gradual, you'll slowly go down. So it's going to go from like a 1.60 to a 0.085 or 0.85, I should say, nice and gradually. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but you got to just try it out to see what I'm talking about. I don't know why that backed out there, but it is what it is. And then aiming response curve type, honestly, there's not much of a difference. You can play linear, you can play dynamic. It doesn't really matter. Just whatever you set it to, it doesn't really matter. Why does it keep it backing up? That's weird. Custom sensitivity per zoom. On the low zoom and all the way up to a 3x scope, I play at 0.85. Anything higher than that, I don't really use. So I'm at a 1.0. Like if you're using a sniper and stuff and you want to play higher, put it higher. If you're using a sniper and you want to play and you want a hard scope and go lower, go lower. It doesn't really matter, right? Whatever's comfortable for you guys here. But I will say 0.85 is a nice solid number, right? It's going to help you guys stay on target. If you guys struggle, if there's people that are moving left and right and you can't keep up with them, put it higher obviously, but if they're moving left and right and you just can't seem to aim at them, you can't seem to do anything, put it to 0.85 or even lower at that point. But just keep in mind, the lower you go, up close gunfights are going to be a little bit harder. So that's why I find 0.85 to be the best. Now, where is a page that I want to I just had a weird hiccup. Where is a page that I want to go to? It's in the interface and graphics. So in the interface, one thing you want to do is just go to the gameplay HUD, go over to the center dot, and make sure that you set it to the largest and set it to yellow. Now the game's kind of glitched at the moment, so even though I have this setting on, it's still small and it's still on white for me. But if you could get it to the largest in yellow, go ahead and do that. And then go to the graphics tab, and on the view page in the graphics tab, you're going to see your field of view. A lot of people say play on 120. 120 is nice, it's fast, blah, blah, blah. I don't like it. 120, the enemies are small, it's hard to get your crosshairs on them, it's hard to aim at them before you actually ADS, so don't do it. It's not nice, all right? 105, I should say, is solid. The lowest you want to go is 90, the highest you want to go is 110, 115. Don't go all the way up to 120. I know movement is fast, everything looks nice, but not worth it in my opinion. And then for the ADS field of view, put it on independent. trust me, okay? It's going to bring everything closer to your screen. It's going to make the enemies bigger. It's going to make everything easier to actually aim at. And it's just really nice. It's not going to actually do anything for your aim assist, but it will make it easier for you yourself to stay on target because the target will be a lot bigger on your screen. So make sure you set that to independent right there. And that's going to be it for the settings. That's all I want to talk about, the settings. But I do want to mention one last thing for like an actual tip. You always want to give yourself an advantage in the gunfight, and the best advantage you could give yourself is to shoot at the chest. All right, if the enemy's shooting back at you, he's doing you a solid, he's doing you a huge favor by doing that. Once he does that, you're going to flinch, and because you're flinching, your gun is going to start shooting upwards, and you're going to aim at the head automatically. It's just going to work out like that. So once the enemy shoots you, he's actually helping you drop himself, which is really nice. So keep that in mind when you're in gunfights and stuff. Aiming at the chest, it's a very big target. Do not aim at the head. You will get your headshots just by aiming at the chest and the enemy shooting back at you. So trust me on that, guys. It works out nicely. And like I said earlier, if you guys want nice lobbies, check out No Lag VPN down in the description below. Got you guys with that nice savings. Drop a like on this video. It helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel, those notifications turned on. And I know I haven't uploaded in a while, guys. It's been a long time. But I'm back. I'm going to try and get daily uploads out. If I could do it, that would be awesome. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.